This is problem 7-94 from section 7.1.6. Evaluate each expression without using a calculator or changing the form of the expression. So we look at all of these are logarithms, and notice they don't have a little number written down, so we are assuming the base is 10 for all of these problems. So we're trying to find out what this equals without using a calculator. Okay, so it says without changing the form, but we can kind of think about the form being different in our heads. Now we know we do the around the world thing. So log base x, let's see, of 5 equals y. We go around the world, right, in general. Okay, so I'm thinking, and I'm assuming again my base is all of these. So log base 10 of 10 equals what? 10 to the what power would give me 10? Well, that's going to be a 1. Well, that should be pretty obvious to us. Okay. If I look at part B, log of radical 10, or I might write the square root sign as a fraction, as a fractional exponent. Log base 10, I'm going to write that in there, just because it's kind of nice to visualize that. So I'm going to say log base 10 of 10 to the 1/2, right? 1/2 is the same as taking the square root of something, right? Equals some number. 10 to the what power gives me 10 to the 1/2 power. Well, that should hopefully be pretty obvious once we rewrite it like this. It's going to be 1/2. Okay? So we're not totally changing it into an exponential equation, but we're just thinking about it through in our heads, and you might not even have to write it down. Okay, C. Log base 10 of 0 equals what? 10 to the what power would get me 0? Well, let's think about that. 10 to the first was 10. Okay, so it's got to be smaller than that. 10 to the 0 is 1. Anything to the 0 is 1. How about 10 to the negative 1? That gives me 1/10. It just flips it upside down. So 10 to the something power to get me 0. That's these numbers, if I just keep going, is going to get smaller and smaller values, but I'm never going to get to 0. So part C is actually going to be undefined. There's no way to get that value. Right? If you plug in your calculator, it does say without the calculator, but you get an error. The last one is a little bit trickier, so I'm going to rewrite the whole thing down here. So part D is 10 raised to the log, oops, I'm sorry, there is a 2/3 in there first, raised to the 2/3 log of 27. Yes? Yes. Okay. So here's what we're going to do first. We know, based on the product property, this thing can go back up on the top. Right, so I'm going to rewrite this. 10 to the log of 27 raised to the 2/3 power. So now we have, let me rewrite a little base in here. We have it's a 10 as our little base. So we've said this before on other homework problems and in class. I think there was something on the closure packet too, a couple, last chapter maybe, where we had a base of 10 and raised to the log of 10. And those are inverses of each other, so they're going to actually cancel each other out. Okay, so all I have left is this 27 raised to this 2/3 power. Well, let's actually figure out what that is. So I know I can rewrite this third thing into the cubed root, just like we wrote raised to the 1/2 power was taking the square root, raised to the 1/3 power is the cubed root, and I'm having 2 of those. That's what this 2 means right here. I just have 2 of those. So the cubed root of 27, so what times itself 3 times is going to give me 27. It's going to actually be 3. So I have squared. So my answer for part D is going to be 9. Okay? So I know because of the product or the power property, I can move this up on the top, just like we did right here. Since I have log of 10 and 10 raised to that power, they're inverses. These have to be the same value in order for them to cancel each other out. Okay, so then I just deal with what's left. So I simplify it and get 9.